Gencos threaten to shut down power generation supply. Nigerian electricity generation companies, Gencos, have threatened to shut down power generation across the country if the federal government does not intervene and call the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company, NBET, to order. The Gencos, through the executive secretary of their umbrella group, the Association of Power Generation Companies, Joy Ogaji, said in Abuja that the federal government must prevail on NBET to rescind its insistence on its unilateral and arbitral directive. Now, the main reason the Gencos are considering shutting down their plants is due to the inability of NBET to honor the agreement it had with them. She said the Gencos were facing serious liquidity challenges due to breach of the power purchase agreement terms of 100% payment for power generated and supplied. All right.
Okay. I think it's so fun to note that almost all our political office holders have one type of generator in their house or the other, and they have this much money that they can afford to even fuel the generator, run it for 1 year without interruption if it's possible. So they are not really concerned about whether you have light or not. I tell you, they can afford to run on generators. And I think the solution for us about this power problem is to restrict inflow of generating sets into our country.
How does that solve the problem?
Wow. Now, we are going to have maybe a calamitous or a difficult situation for a very short time. But everybody goes through the pain. We will, at that point, know that the only solution we have is to provide and solve our electricity problem. The moment some people can afford alternatives, then we begin to toss the problem back and forth. And we'll be window dressing and doing all these things. But if everybody is feeling the brunt of it, you sleep in your house, you cannot put on the AC, you know what it costs you, you get to the office and, Baba, I cannot sleep through the night, go and fix this problem. And you'll see that we'll have solution. People are just window dressing this solution, and we've been at it. Obasanjo did his own, spent billions of naira. We didn't see anything out of it.
Okay.
Jonathan did this. Likewise, Buhari had also started, and we are still not getting solution. Can we for once ensure that the same treatment that Nigerians are facing, these politicians also go through it?
Okay.
Let them restrict access to the
Mr. Tanner. Now, people on social media are not even having this. You're threatening to shut down power supply. The power supply that has not been supplied
it's not even regular.
in the first place. So what are you shutting down? Okay.
So look, I think it's because agreement is an agreement. An agreement is an agreement. Once you make an agreement with somebody, make sure you fulfill that agreement. Okay. I think this unfulfilled agreement is what is happening now. Calvin said that. My brother said that generators should not be allowed to come into Nigeria. What about the ones that are already here? Some generators used to cost up to about 50 million. Can you imagine that? 50 million for a single generator. Now. All our politicians, not even our politicians, all our rich men, I think understand. Even now, can you imagine that they are budgeting for fuel
for generator
in Asoro? So what do you want the common people to even say now? Okay. So it has gone haywire to that level. What I will advise the federal government is to quickly step into this matter for the sake of the populace, for the sake of the people you are governing. I think understand. But if you think it doesn't concern us, we've got enough here we've got enough petrol, and they are getting all this in free.
That is it now.
At taxpayers' cost, at our own. So the federal government should step in. The minister for what do you call it?
Mines and power.
For mines and power should liaise with these two companies that are fighting now, because when two elephants fight,
the grass suffers. Okay,
you know where I'm going.
No, I don't.
I make bold to say, for the past 6 months, I, Mazi Chinejumobioha, have experienced very improved power supply
in your area.
Okay.
So I give you kudos. So,
okay.
On that note, I want to appeal. Whosoever is responsible, honor the agreement entered. Like he said, when two elephants fight, it is a common man.
That is so.
But one thing is special. The sale of this Gencos item was based on fraud. People that have no capacity to buy it, even to implement it, went and bought it, and today we are suffering it. Remember how much Obasanjo spent, like he said. Jonathan spent.
Everybody.
And our dear former governor of Lagos, they said, a country that cannot give a citizen light within 6 months, he said we should stone them all. But you people here have not stoned Fashola because
that's a hate speech.
The Senate has decided. They say it was a one-man, so I can say it's not a hate speech. So what we are saying, not
so don't get yourself hanged.
My friend here said, Aso Rock.
Yes.
There's budget for generator and fuel.
Can you imagine?
He also agreed. Myself, I agree no less. Not only banning the importation of generators. What about our health education?
Education.
Somebody died. Look at the social medias everywhere. People soliciting for help for health treatment. What about our educational system? All these things should be taken into consideration. Ban. Power is important. If we have a steady power supply, cost of, we're talking about inflation, some of these things will
come down. Of course.
Especially if you go to a market, you buy things that will last you 1 week. You cook and store it in the fridge if there is light. But otherwise, you cook every day. Like myself, I know your husband will also like to eat fresh meal every day. That's what I like. So it's not cost effective for you to be cooking every day because there's no light. Now, these people, these young women, young men selling water. Do you know how much, what do you call it now? Ice block cost now. Yes. They will go and buy it, then increase the cost
of the water they sell.
So we are soliciting, we are appealing to you, whoever is in charge, go and right the wrong. Go and honor the agreement so that people, but generation is another thing. The transmission,
distribution, yes.
And distribution is important too, because they are complaining. This one say we generated. This one say we cannot because of.
But you can't even transmit what has not been generated.
Yes, you can, because of this problem now.
Yeah.
Because of not honoring the agreement. Because they cannot use their blood to. They need money.
Honestly, if the head of Genco and these schools didn't have light in their house and they didn't have alternative to generate the light, I tell you, they will meet in their sitting room and talk about it. Their wives will force them to make sure that they solve that problem. I tell you,
even NEPA here, NEPA opposite the other most times no light.
No light. They also
use generator to fair payment. If you want to pay,
we are in a very terrible situation.
Come on.
I don't know. I was there when you called me on Independence Day, and I gave an example. I said a child born 59 years ago still crawling. I was supposed to be hearing that no light. Ghana will supply light. Celebrated 10 years uninterrupted supply of light some years ago, and today we who boast that we are the giant of Africa, no light. I remember when this fax machine was in place. I was trying to transmit fax something to Gotv here, and I said, please, we don't have light. He said, when we, I said, no, maybe in a week's time. In a week's light for light to come. So you see, we are in a mess here. When anybody that said both Obasanjo, Jonathan, our PMB, if they are serious in telling us what is happening, there are demons controlling or affecting or depressing the improvement of power supply in Nigeria.
Not only
Can't
power,
we solve it?
All aspects of life.
We talk about even refinery. We are talking about these things. From 1999 till now, we cannot build a new refinery. Even modern refinery, we can't do it. So we are in a sorry situation.
We are in a sorry situation.
Unless God can help us, but God is tired of us.
I learned that in one of these Asian
God is actually tired of us. God cannot. You see, no. You see, do you know what? People say, heaven help those that don't. Heaven help those that cannot help themselves, and that is why we are calling for God's intervention. God, our faith is in you. our hope is built on nothing less but on him. So God cannot do his own and come and do your own. He has given us all the resources available, has made the natural resources for us to use it to better our lives, but we are wicked to ourselves. We don't, people are selfish, self-centered, everything.
That's exactly what I said earlier on. Majority of us are selfish, self-centered.
Selfish people.
They are devilish people. They are dining with the devil. So there's nothing you can talk to them that will even enter their
It's
head.
because they have alternatives.
Yeah, look at one Asian country. I learned that they will even come to you and ask you to buy all these electrical appliances so that you will use more power because they have excess.
Of it. It's because we
China
have
is over 1 billion.
Honestly.
1 billion. Not
Because
million.
we have options.
In
We have
population.
alternatives.
So
Okay.
they still have enough. But in Nigeria,
Look at this.
Okay.
Look at this Kara bridge that was short. Kara bridge that was short. They said it will take us up to this. Kara bridge, a distance of how many? Less than 30 kilometers. We are
Okay.
struggling to fix it.
Anyways, this matter has been reported to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory
It's
Commission,
better.
NEC, and other high authorities, including the vice chairman of its board, the Bureau of Public Enterprises, as well as the Gas Aggregation Company of Nigeria. So we hope that they will be able to resolve this